Building the Bitcoin Citadel, a new frontier for digital sovereignty. Introduction. We are standing at the edge of a new digital frontier. For centuries, human economies have been bootstrapped through centralized authority, governments printing money, offering promises, and directing labor with inflation-backed capital. Sometimes this works. Often it leads to war, corruption, and the slow decay of civil trust. In the fiat system, jobs are created not because value is needed, but because debt must be repaid. But what happens when you remove the printer? What happens when you can't conjure value from thin air, when every Satoshi must be earned? This is the premise of the Bitcoin Citadel. It is not a game, though it borrows the structure of one. It is not a government, though it governs itself. It is not a simulation, but a living digital economy where culture, work, and money converge. The Citadel is a new kind of civilization, bootstrapped not by inflation but by voluntary coordination, funded not by debt but by honest capital, governed not by rulers but by shared tools and rules. Inside its walls, a new social contract emerges. If you build something of value, you will be rewarded. If you don't, no one owes you anything. This document is both a framework and a blueprint. It is a guide for constructing a digital society rooted in Bitcoin, not merely as a currency, but as the backbone of a sovereign economic system, one that values integrity, resilience, and creativity. We begin where all civilizations begin, with jobs, with tools, with meaning, and with the first vault of hard money entrusted to those willing to build something real. 2. Philosophy of the Citadel. Every society is built on a belief system, even if unspoken. In fiat civilization, the foundational myth is this: the government will provide, the money will hold, trust us. But in the Citadel, there is no myth, only code, choice, and consequence. We don't print money. We don't elect rulers. We don't outsource responsibility. Instead, we build around a few hard truths. 1. Hard money demands hard choices. Bitcoin is finite. Every Satoshi spent must be justified. There is no room for waste, vanity, or performative projects. In this world, capital is sacred because it was earned, not conjured. This forces us to prioritize infrastructure over aesthetics, jobs over speculation, public goods over political power. 2. We build from first principles. In the Citadel, we don't inherit systems, we construct them. No legacy bureaucracy, no inflated reputations, no default trust. We re-ask fundamental questions. How should identity work in a digital economy? How is labor priced when there's no inflation? What replaces law when the ledger doesn't lie? We rebuild civilization, but with precision, one protocol at a time. 3. Jobs before growth, builders before bosses. The first economy is a labor economy. We start with real work, done by real people and eventually agents. Every tool, app, or artifact must be useful or meaningful, ideally both. We do not reward position, we reward contribution. And before anyone governs, they must first build. 4. Trust must be earned, not printed. Fiat systems print money and trade it for compliance. The Citadel flips that model. We don't print trust, we earn it. The vault is multi-sig. Proposals must be clear, payouts must be tied to results. Reputation comes from action, not affiliation. This is not an anarchic free-for-all, but a coded contract of mutual accountability. 5. The Citadel is a membrane, not a fortress. This is not isolationism. The Citadel is open to those who bring value in and those willing to play by its rules. We do not aim to dominate or evangelize. We aim to opt out and build better. And if the outside world finds what we've built worthwhile, they'll come. That's what the BTC Relay Depot is for, a gateway, not a wall. Final principle. The Citadel exists to prove that civilization can be built without coercion, only through coordination. That money doesn't need to inflate to fund progress. That trust doesn't need to be fake to be real. That we can start again with better assumptions. The core framework, the 3-layer model. At the heart of the Bitcoin Citadel lies a simple but powerful insight. A civilization is not just an economy. It is a culture, a set of tools, and a pattern of value exchange. To build a sustainable digital society, we must design across 3 interlocking layers. 1. The cultural layer, the vibe. 2. The functional layer, the tools. 3. The economic layer, the engine. Each one feeds the others. Each one must be healthy or the system collapses. The cultural layer, the vibe. This is what makes the Citadel feel alive. It's the memes, the mood, the lore, the rituals. It's what gives citizens identity, cohesion, and a sense of belonging. In fiat societies, culture is often co-opted by political narratives or consumerism. In the Citadel, culture is organic, earned, and coded into the system. Core components, lore, mythos, and narrative anchors, e.g. Satoshi, the Relay Depot, the founding. Pseudonymous identity systems, NFTs, digital land, artistic assets. Shared rituals, e.g. the halving, proof of work celebrations. Mimetic propagation tools, culture as infrastructure. Goal, create an environment that people want to belong to, not just transact in. The functional layer, the tools. This is what people do in the Citadel. It's the protocols, plugins, contracts, and user interfaces that give shape to action. Function is where the infrastructure lives, the things that enable trade, communication, creation, and self-sovereignty. Core components: Lightning wallets, routing nodes, HTLC systems, messaging and coordination tools, job boards and bounty protocols, marketplace layers for services and digital goods, identity and reputation layers, plugin frameworks for agents, scripts, automations. Goal: build tools that increase individual agency and collective productivity. The economic layer, the engine. This is how value moves within the Citadel. It is the flow of BTC from hand to hand, wallet to vault, job to reward. It defines what gets funded, who gets paid, and why people choose to stay. Unlike fiat economies, where value can be faked or inflated, this layer only moves when something real is built, bought, or used. Core components: the BTC Relay Depot, on-off ramp for fiat and crypto Lightning, vaults and multi-sig treasuries, job creation protocols, yield opportunities, routing fees, pooled services, governance over capital allocation, export channels to outside digital economies. Goal: design a circular, incentive-aligned economy where real work generates real rewards. Why this framework works. This model isn't rigid, it's modular. You can zoom in on one layer, e.g. launch an identity protocol, and it still supports the others. You can prioritize culture first or start with core infrastructure. But long-term resilience comes from layer harmony. Culture attracts people. Function gives them things to do. Economy rewards the best contributions. When all three are aligned, the Citadel becomes a self-sustaining engine of value, creativity, and sovereignty. The tiered build sequence, from vault to civilization. Every civilization begins somewhere. In the fiat world, that beginning is usually top-down, a government printing money, making laws, and issuing commands. But the Citadel begins bottom-up, with a vault, a few builders, and the will to cooperate around hard money. To guide this emergence, we use a tiered build system, a progression of critical milestones that lay down the infrastructure, attract participants, and gradually open up more complex systems. This is how we bootstrap a working economy from first principles, without central planning, without inflation, and without rulers. Tier 0, the Genesis layer. Establish the foundation: capital, custody, and connection. Milestones: BTC Vault, multi-sig or federated treasury, transparent, auditable, and sacred. BTC Relay Depot, on-off ramp, converts fiat or crypto into BTC or Lightning. Wallet layer, assign Lightning addresses or bind users to federated custody, e.g. Fedimint. Outcomes: real BTC enters the Citadel. Real people get keys, wallets, and presents. A membrane forms between the outside world and the sovereign interior. Tier 1, the labor layer. Create the first jobs, make work visible, pay people in real money. Milestones: job board protocol, post bounties, quests, and calls for work. Role definitions: vibe coders, lore crafters, relay operators, etc. Identity and reputation system: pseudonymous handles, action-based rep. Outcomes: the first BTC is spent on labor, not speculation. Value starts circulating internally. The economic flywheel begins to spin. Tier 2, the marketplace layer. Enable trade, services, and internal capitalism. Milestones: plug in an asset market, sell tools, extensions, digital artifacts. Service marketplace: citizens hire each other for coding, art, design, writing, etc. NFT plus lore layer: in-world identity, collectibles, territory, and culture tokens. Outcomes: builders become sellers. Citizens become buyers. A proper economy forms with optionality, pricing, and reputation. Tier 3, the governance layer. Decide how value is allocated and rules are evolved. Milestones, proposal system. Submit project ideas or upgrades to be funded by the vault. Voting, approval protocol, reputational or stake-based decision-making. Public goods engine. Fund essential infrastructure without coercion. Outcomes. The Citadel becomes self-governing. Power flows through code and reputation, not personality or force. The economy becomes anti-fragile, resilient to change, responsive to need. Tier 4. The export layer. Let value flow outward without compromising sovereignty. Milestones. Service exports. Host relays, compute, storage content for external users. Citadel interoperability. Cross-Citadel messaging, commerce and migration. Proof of prestige. Outside world begins to respect what's built inside. Outcomes. BTC flows in from external customers or participants. The Citadel becomes a net positive actor in the global economy. Reputation becomes borderless, but sovereignty remains intact. Final insight. This sequence is not rigid, it's recursive. A small Citadel can pause at Tier 2. A large one might rerun Tier 1 forever. The point is not size, it's coherence. When each tier is thoughtfully constructed, you get a self-sustaining digital civilization without needing to fake trust or inflate value. Role archetypes and job classes. A society is only as vibrant as the roles available within it. In the Citadel, work isn't assigned from above. It's discovered, created, and earned. Each role emerges from the natural needs of the system, the tools available, and the cultural identity of the Citadel itself. We don't have citizens. We have builders, operators, crafters, and storytellers. These are the first job classes of the Bitcoin Citadel. 1. The Lightning Smith, the toolmaker, the builder of plugins, bots, infrastructure, and contract logic, writes and ships software that makes the Citadel usable, maintains routing nodes, Lightning infrastructure, vault logic, or escrow tools, can be contracted, tipped, or funded via proposals, may publish to an internal plugin marketplace. Output, services, smart wallets, vault guards, protocol upgrades, paid in, direct sats, vault grants, marketplace revenue. 2. The arbiter, the enforcer of code-defined law, the resolver of disputes, applies logic, precedent, or community signals to resolve conflicts, may operate a decentralized arbitration protocol or smart dispute layer, acts only when summoned, does not rule, only intervenes when asked. Output, dispute resolution, mediation, fraud prevention. Paid in, dispute fees, service retainer, governance reputation. 3. The lore crafter, the cultural architect, the meme warrior, the keeper of the vibe, writes the Citadel stories, records its history, mints its NFTs, designs symbols, avatars, lore scrolls, visual language, and rituals, helps shape pseudonymous identities and cultural gravity. Output, digital artifacts, cultural NFTs, onboarding guides, memes. Paid in, NFT sales, donations, branding bounties, legacy tips. Number 4. The relay operator, the infrastructure provider, the router of data and payment, runs communication or payment relays, e.g. Lightning Node, Nostr Relay, may host storage, AI agents, federated identities, etc., earns routing fees or uptime bounties, keeps the lights on. Output, uptime, bandwidth, payment liquidity. Paid in, routing fees, staking rewards, hosting contracts. 5. The Vault Master, the capital allocator, the steward of the Citadel's treasury, manages multisig vaults or federated treasuries, runs funding rounds, reviews proposals, allocates sats, may also manage yield strategies, e.g. lightning loops, services, liquidity. Output, treasury growth, grant distribution, project funding. Paid in, governance power, vault admin fees, public trust. 6. The citizen builder, the flexible participant, the multi-class generalist, the new settler, takes small jobs, completes bounties, explores roles, learns by doing, builds a reputation through delivery, evolves into a specialized class, or becomes a polymath. Output, labor, ideas, minor services, forum activity. Paid in, micro bounties, feedback loops, reputation points. Optional roles expand as needed. The cartographer builds maps, tools, interfaces. The innkeeper runs onboarding stations, hosts new users. The historian documents upgrades, records lore, logs governance. The Guardian defends against spam, exploits, sybils, or social attacks. The Outrider, external ambassador, recruiter, bridge agent. These roles are not rigid. They're modular identities. Anyone can switch, stack, or specialize over time. You don't apply for a role. You earn it through contribution, reputation, and presence. The Citadel doesn't care who you are. It cares what you do. This content is sponsored by Bobby Gigs. Discover more great content on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Follow the links in the description. Key systems. The Citadel is not a dream. It's not a chat room. It's a digital economy with real flows, real stakes, and real consequences. The following systems form the operational backbone of the Citadel. 1. The BTC Relay Depot, the gateway, the membrane, the on-off ramp. Converts external value fiat ETH stablecoins, BTC, Lightning. Binds new users to a Lightning wallet or federated identity, e.g. via Fedimint. Enforces the economic boundary between the outside world and the Citadel. No KYC, no surveillance, only permissionless on-ramps. Purpose: allow sovereign entry without compromising internal rules. Design note: must be fast, low friction, and wallet agnostic. Vault governance: the treasury, the heart, the allocator of capital. BTC held in multisig, smart contract, or federated vault. Citizens submit proposals, jobs, projects, services, funds released via voting, reputation weighting, or consensus thresholds. No single actor has access. Everything is traceable and public. Purpose: make productive use of pooled BTC without printing or corruption. Core rules: capital must go toward tools, jobs, or public goods, not vanity. 3. Job board protocol: the engine of the labor economy. Citizens post bounties, quests, and gigs, jobs priced in sats or milestone-based BTC payouts, optional escrow or vault-linked disbursement, builds reputation over time for both employers and workers. Purpose: create meaningful work from day one. Bonus: can be expanded into guilds or class-specific job boards. 4. Plugin and asset market: the bazaar of the Citadel. Developers and creators publish tools, modules, and content packs. Can include smart wallet add-ons, avatar items, lore packs, automation agents, royalties, one-time payments, or recurring subscriptions in sats. Permissionless to publish, curated to feature. Purpose: enable economic specialization and software abundance. Cultural impact: turns the Citadel into a living software economy. 5. Identity and reputation layer: the soul of the Citadel. Pseudonymous handles bound to wallets. Reputation based on verified action, work, contributions, votes, uptime. Soulbound badges or history logs. Optional privacy settings or stealth modes. Purpose: replace fiat credentialism with earned credibility. Bonus: enables Sybil resistance without surveillance. 6. Routing and hosting layer: the plumbing. The power grid. Citizens can host relays, lightning nodes, file storage, or AI agents. Earn routing or uptime fees. Power the Citadel's services internally without relying on cloud monopolies. Can also power compute, training, and inference in later stages. Purpose: decentralize infrastructure. Keep the Citadel sovereign and always on. 7. Messaging and coordination layer: the town square, the meeting hall, async messaging, forums, bulletin boards, real-time chat or campfire zones, workgroup creation, DAO coordination, direct messaging, possibly built on Nostr or similar open protocols. Purpose: replace centralized platforms with native comms. Cultural role: shapes tone, ritual, and community norms. Together, these systems form the minimum viable structure of a living digital society. They can start simple, but must be resilient, composable, and transparent. The Citadel isn't a product. It's a protocol stack for sovereignty. Section 7, Founding Principles. 1. We do not print trust. Fiat systems run on synthetic promises. They manufacture trust through inflation, force, or propaganda. The Citadel doesn't. Trust is earned through action. Reputation is built through output. Nothing is granted. Everything is provable. This is the core law of the Citadel economy. We do not borrow from the future. We do not inflate away risk. We do not pretend to know better than the market. All capital is real. All labor is voluntary. Trust is a side effect of transparency, not a prerequisite for participation. 2. Jobs before growth. The fiat world obsesses over GDP, valuation, and scale. but growth without work is cancer. In the Citadel, we do not scale empty systems. We do not seek growth for its own sake. We build tools that create livelihoods, not just users. The Citadel expands when people earn sats by building, teaching, trading, and hosting. 3. Infrastructure before luxury. A true society starts with plumbing, not palace walls. Before we mint lore NFTs, we build vaults, messaging, payment rails, job boards, identity. The Citadel prioritizes uptime, access, and function over spectacle. Only after the structure is sound do we celebrate with aesthetic expression. 4. No rulers, only rules. There are no kings, presidents, or anointed founders. There is only code, consensus, and contribution. Governance exists to allocate shared capital, maintain shared infrastructure, protect shared integrity. But no one governs people, only protocols. Power flows through rules anyone can inspect, and no one can override. 5. Custody is a choice. Sovereignty is a right. Every citizen has the right to hold their own keys, operate their own node, exit the system freely. But they may also choose to join a fediment, to delegate to a trusted operator, to participate pseudonymously. The Citadel does not force sovereignty, it enables it. 6. The Citadel is a destination, not an escape. This is not an end-of-the-world bunker. It is not a retreat from collapse. It is a forward-facing, intentional society built because we can and because we must. We do not reject the outside world out of fear. We build a better one out of conviction. If the outside world comes knocking, we welcome them through the BTC Relay Depot, on our terms. Final principle. The Citadel is a loop, not a ladder. No one climbs to the top. Everyone contributes to the circle. We are building not for control, but for continuity. 8. Glossary of terms. A new world demands new words. The following terms define the key concepts, roles, and structures within the Bitcoin Citadel. Many are borrowed from existing domains and recontextualized. Others are newly coined, specific to this emerging digital society. Core terms. Citadel, a sovereign digital economy built on Bitcoin, not a game, not a platform, an operational society with jobs, money, culture, and rules. BTC Relay Depot, the Citadel's on-off ramp, a permissionless gateway where external value, fiat crypto, is converted to BTC or Lightning sats. First point of entry, first line of defense. Vault, a multi-signature or federated treasury holding pooled BTC, controlled by protocol-defined governance, funds jobs, services, and infrastructure. Sacred Capital, multisig, a Bitcoin custody mechanism requiring multiple private keys to authorize a transaction, powers vaults and collective trust systems. Fediment, a federated custody and minting protocol enabling community Bitcoin banking, used to onboard users or manage pooled funds without KYC. Hash Time Lock Contract, HTLC, the cryptographic backbone of Lightning payments, ensures conditional transfers used for trustless routing and delayed settlement. Roles and classes. Vibe Coder, a developer who understands the culture of the Citadel and builds expressive, aesthetic, or socially impactful tools. Lightning Smith, a software builder and infrastructure maintainer, creates plugins, agents, contracts, and relays. Lorecrafter, the Citadel's cultural architect, designs stories, rituals, art, and visual language, shapes identity and belonging. Relay Operator, a citizen who runs Lightning nodes, comms relays, or infrastructure that powers the Citadel's backend. Vault Master, a trusted capital allocator who manages proposals, unlocks funds, and stewards public goods on behalf of the Citadel. Arbiter, a dispute resolver, mediates conflicts using code, evidence, and reputation, not power or personal authority. Systems and protocols. Job Board Protocol, the labor layer of the Citadel, posts bounties, gigs, or proposals for citizens to complete in exchange for BTC or sats. Plugin Marketplace, a place where developers and creators publish tools, automations, or aesthetic items for sale or reuse. Identity Layer, a pseudonymous system that binds a user to a wallet and builds reputation through action, may use soulbound badges or scoring. Governance Layer, the collective decision-making protocol, used to vote on treasury proposals, infrastructure upgrades, and rule changes. Messaging Layer, internal communication infrastructure, includes asynchronous forums, chat, bulletin boards, and workgroup coordination. Philosophical constructs. We do not print trust, a foundational Citadel principle. All reputation and access must be earned through work and transparency, not through fiat or affiliation. Jobs before growth. The idea that a working economy starts with labor, not speculation. Economic expansion follows from meaningful production. Infrastructure before luxury. A design principle. Build the functional, economic core of the citadel before focusing on aesthetics or prestige. Membrane. Describes the citadel's relationship to the outside world. Value may flow in or out, but only through defined, voluntary protocols. Self-sovereignty. The right of every citizen to control their own keys, labor, data, and reputation, without dependency on any central authority. Civic loop, feedback cycle of work, reward, reinvestment, growth, replaces hierarchical ladders with circular regenerative value creation. IX, next steps and open questions. This blueprint gives us the conceptual scaffolding, the economic philosophy, and the build sequence for a sovereign, Bitcoin native society. But paper is only potential. The Citadel must now be prototyped, stress-tested, and inhabited. Here's where we go from here. Immediate next steps. 1. Assemble a founding group. Builders, designers, thinkers, and operators. Small, sovereign, mission-aligned. Should collectively hold initial vault multisig. 2. Stand up the BTC Relay Depot. Choose a method, Fedimint Lightning plus CX or custom swap. Bind it to wallet onboarding, Fedi or native LN. Open the gates to the first settlers. Launch Tier 1 infrastructure, vault contract plus transparent dashboard. Job board, simple bounties, even via spreadsheet or GitHub. Reputation starter system, handle proof of work, badge. Identity protocol, pseudonymous but accountable. 4. Publish the first jobs. These are not fake tasks. They are the infrastructure of the Citadel itself. Examples, wallet UI, lorebook, meme kit, chat relay, vault visualizer. 5. Start the civic loop. Work, payment in sats, reinvestment, more tools, real BTC, real services, no gimmicks. Open questions. 1. What makes a service Citadel native? How do we prevent dependency on legacy systems, AWS, Twitter, fiat exit ramps, while maintaining usability? 2. How is reputation scored fairly? Reputation is core, but how do we make it earned, not gamed? 3. Should the Citadel be forkable? Is this one world, or many small citadels with interop protocols? 4. How does the Citadel export value? What services, tools, or creative goods can bring external BTC into the loop? 5. Can AI agents participate in the economy? What happens when digital workers outproduce humans inside the Citadel? Do they get identity? Sats? 6. What's the endgame? Is the Citadel a model for the future, a refuge, an economic OS for digital states? Or is it the first living experiment in civilization built on code, not coercion? Closing reflection. The Citadel isn't a product. It's a proof of possibility. It exists because we believe something better is worth building. And because for once, we can. Now the question is, who shows up first and what do they build?